What's up, Atrox Outdoors here. I'm gonna do a review, overview of my disc golf bag. I'm gonna show kind of the discs I use. I'm not really gonna talk about my bag too much. I'll just show it real quick. Just a fade tourney bag. It's kind of has a cool design here, but this is an older bag. I'll probably replace it this next season here. Maybe get something Christmas time. Who knows? And just have these straps on. These are pretty good straps if you have this type of bag. Get these dynamic backpack straps. I'm not too fat. I kind of like them. But I'll probably go to a backpack bag. I have another bag that I use sometimes, but I'm not going to show that because it's not really mine. Kind of on loan. So let's kind of just break down my bag. I'll just talk a little bit about the discs. And yeah, so I'll show you the setup real quick. So, of course, just the mini, and then the my putting putters for the most part, and then I like to set up my bag a certain way. So, approach discs from speed, kind of approach to mid range to high to fairway to high speed, from right to left, and stability a little bit too, and then kind of towards the back here. These are more like utility discs, so I know where they are. I can just grab them if I need to throw one of those discs. This bag I use in conjunction with the other bag. I'll swap discs out. I might take some of these out depending on the course, just to kind of have them both next to each other so I can pull stuff. I have a few more discs I might throw in or out, but this is pretty much my primary setup and something I can take to new courses or whatever, and just know I know all these discs for the most part pretty well, and they can cover pretty much any type of lines I need to do. Start with putting putters. I've been putting with Wizards for a few years now, and I like to rotate them in about every 3 months or so. I might put a new one in. I like to have a dedicated putter too. So this one here is a super soft Wizard, and I put and throw pretty much only discs that are 170 and up, and a lot of my discs are close to max weight. I don't know the exact weights, but it doesn't really matter too much to me. Just I look for the feel more of the disc than the actual weight. Between 170 and 175, it's fine, and then 180 for mid ranges. I just look for the feel more. This one here is my primary putter right now, and I use this for all of my inside the circle putts, and then maybe anything like 50 or 60 feet also. It'll pretty much be this. This is just a super soft Wizard. I like these because they're not too gummy, but they still have a soft feel. I don't like those really hard firm putters. That's why I don't putt with like KC Pro AVR. I just didn't really like the feel of it, and I kind of like the bead and the kind of rounded edge here of the Wizards. And I'm a spin putter. I putt with a lot of spin, so these go really straight for me. And since I've switched to these, I've gone close to 90% for my inside the circle putts, so I've really improved. And I think the Wizard is a big part of that, and it's one of my favorite discs. So that's my primary putter. And then this one's an eraser Wizard, but I use different ones, kind of just rotate to this spot. This one is my backup putter, but I also use this for kind of throw-in shots, maybe outside of putting range. I'll throw this and just touch shots, and I also will occasionally throw like some up shots with this one over the others, because this one here has a little bit more stability and I'll hold a hyzer pretty well even in wind. And then when it's colder, this is good because this is a little bit softer. These have a really good feel too. And then we've got another super soft Wizard. This one here is pretty beat in, and I use this for all sorts of approach shots. If I don't trust anything else, I'll throw this because I can really do a lot of trick shots with this. I know this is really well. It's been in my bag for a while. It's pretty beat up. It's more neutral. It's not super understable, but it'll hold the Anheuser. So I throw mostly backhand, right hand backhand. It'll hold a nice gentle like left to right finishing layup shot. And I can throw it a little bit harder on a hyzer flip too. So that one's kind of one of my go-tos, but if I can throw it, I'm gonna go up to this one for the most part. This one goes a little bit farther than most Wizards. And if I have like short shots, need to approach disc off the tee, anytime I can throw this, I'm going to try it. This is the MEP Plasma Ion, one of my favorite discs. Can sidearm this pretty well for touch stuff. And it's a really good disc for really straight shots. Some people might not like it. You know, it has a similar profile to the Wizard. I don't really like these too much for putting. Just have a different flight path, in my opinion, for the putt. It just falls a little bit faster. It doesn't glide as much. But for throwing, for driving, they're really good. Put some spin on it, and they stabilize well. You can get a really nice laser lines with this, and throw it a lot farther than the Wizards. And one of the reasons why I don't have that many mid ranges is because of this. This can cover most of the neutral lines. I can throw it pretty much close to as far as I can throw a rock, maybe a little bit shorter. But if I need more distance, that's when we go up to the little bit faster discs. Just some mid ranges, and I only throw rocks. I only have 3 right now in the bag. They're versions of the rock. This one is a DXV rock. It's a little bit different. It kind of has a different profile. I don't know if you can tell, but compared to other rocks, it's a little bit more rounded here. And it's pretty neutral. I like this for kind of like late turnover stuff. Can force it on an Anheuser flip it. And for whatever reason, I don't have the best sidearm release, but if I get a clean release on this, it stabilizes pretty well, and it goes really straight. So I will use this for kind of shorter sidearm touch straight shots too. And it'll hold the hyzer pretty well. And you can throw it on a pure hyzer, or I like to do like hyzer flip stuff with it too. Now, I don't really throw this too much in a lot of headwind because it gets pretty squirrely, but it's not super understable. It's a good disc though. I would compare it to maybe similar to like an Ontario rock, if you know what those are, or like a beat-in other type of DX rock. All right, moving up, got the Rock 3s. This blue one is an older one time, nice and flat. Still good finish at the end. This is a workhorse disc, just a little bit of hyzer sometimes, or just flat, straight, and nice dependable finish. It says Rock Things. Let you guys know what Rock does. Really good disc. I don't sidearm this too much because it gets fluttery. For some reason, I go to that one or to a higher speed disc. But I like this disc, and even in moderate wind, it'll go nice and straight. And then this one with the Sierra Nevada stamp is a newer rock. It's pretty new. It's a little bit more domey than the other one. And this one is overstable for a rock. I think it's max weight, pretty beefy, holds up to wind well. This is kind of just a backup to the others, and for headwind shots and some hyzer stuff. And then, so that's it for mid ranges. And then we've got some fairways. First one of my personal favorite discs. If you haven't checked one of these out, I recommend it. This one's a little bit beefier than the normal ones, so if you want a really good one, I would suggest looking for one like this. It's firmer and flatter. I have some other ones that are more understable. This is a misprint Leopard 3, and it flies similar in some ways to the V-Rock there, just longer. Do straight long turnovers, hyzer flip stuff, big Anheuser stuff. So any of like tailwind, understable fairway shots, this is a nice go-to. Kind of bridges the gap between the T-Birds. I don't carry like an understable T-Bird. I like this. Get probably more distance with this than the T-Birds even. It's a really cool disc. I don't really sidearm it. If you had a finesse sidearm, you could probably use it for like flip-up shots. But I'm not that good, so I can't really use this for sidearms. I go to the other two. This one here, this is pretty flat. This is a Star T-Bird. It's max weight. Use this for all sorts of fairway stuff, T-Bird shots. It's still nice and stable. It's pretty straight. it has some finish to the left, but if I throw it really hard, it'll pretty much just finish straight. Yeah, so that's pretty much my kind of go-to like fairway straight shot disc. This disc I'll hyzer flip, and this one I'll throw flat. And this one, of course, holds up better in the wind than the Leopard 3. And then stepping up, this is an overstable T-Bird. It's a newer one, the Avery stamp. A little bit more domey, beefy. It's a good disc to just crank on if you need to in the wind, or just want to throw a lot of power hyzer on a T-Bird shot. And I'll sidearm this one and the other one too. You stand up well to it. And then this here is a newer disc in my bag. I haven't thrown it too much, but I really like it. This is the FD2, and it's like a super T-Bird. Extra overstable compared to T-Bird. It's not quite as overstable as like a Firebird or the FD3. Smaller rim, and it's a really good disc for sidearm, power sidearm stuff. And when you need to step up from a T-Bird, if it's really windy or something, or you just want a lot of hyzer, more finish, more stability, I'd recommend checking this out. If you like to throw sidearm with slower disc, maybe try one of these. This one is a little bit more domey. That doesn't bother me though for sidearm. I know some people don't like it, but for my preference, it doesn't really matter. I don't throw as many sidearms as backhands though. I mostly throw right hand backhand probably 90% of the time, and then the other time sidearm or thumbers. And this is a good disc for overhand too, but I don't really use it that much for that. Alright, so that's fairways. And then here's the distance drivers. The first one is just in right now to hold the place. So I throw mostly destroyers. This is a Lucid Trespass though, and this one is understable for me. It's broken in, and I use this in place of a Pro Destroyer that I lost for now until the other one breaks in a little bit more. This one I throw for pretty much flat to late turnover shots for distance. And hyzer flip stuff and big anhyzer. And then got a Pro Destroyer that I'm kind of seasoning in. This one is pretty much just straight right now, but it'll break in pretty soon and probably push that one out. I also throw this for sidearms too. And then this is a EchoStar Destroyer, and it's pretty domey. It's similar to the other Destroyer, but it finishes a little bit harder and holds up a little bit better in the wind. This is also, if I want to really crush on it, this is, I'd say probably my furthest flying Destroyer. Step up from that. This is a beat in. It looks pretty beat in, but this is still really, really stable. This is one of those Avery Destroyers that's really flat, and this thing has a lot of stability. When I first got it, it was just stupid overstable. I had to work on it and just get it to where I could use it really. And my arm improved a little bit, and it broke in, and yeah, I definitely like this for a lot of nice headwind shots. It's really good headwind disc, and like flex shot stuff. It goes really far too. Get good skip shots with it, and I can put it on a pretty low line and just trust it to hold that also. And then we got this new one here, this pink Paul McBeth, this pink Paul Destroyer. It's really domey, crazy overstable, and this is pretty much just for extreme headwinds and big hyzer shots too. This one and then the yellow one. My go-to distance drivers for the most part are going to be either this one for overstable, or probably this one for most stuff because this one's straight. And then some of my home courses have a lot of holes that are over 400 feet. So if I really want to go long, I don't have the biggest arm, but I can throw this fairly far. This is a beat-in Star Boss, and I might cycle this out occasionally. I don't really enjoy throwing it that much, but it's the disc that I can throw the furthest. Usually throw it on a kind of a hyzer flip line and just let it go. So this is my maximum distance disc. And then got some utility stuff over here. I like to work with rollers also, so I have 2 roller discs. This one here is a Star Roadrunner. It's max weight, but it's pretty flippy for me, understable. I throw this flat and let it cut roll most of the time, or work a little bit of anhyzer and just work different like trick shot stuff. So this is like my cut roller disc, where I'll throw like throw it on angle or flat and let it flip up and roll out and kind of do different things. Sometimes I'll throw this maybe like for a crazy tailwind anhyzer shot, or like a sky roller or some weird trick shot thing. But the other disc I use is this one, and I use that for this one's a little bit more stable, even though it looks more beat up. This is a Champion Sidewinder. It's an older one. And when I throw this, I throw it more on roller, like on a pure roller line, like a power. I'll just put it down quick and like put it on the line I want it to go, and it usually goes pretty straight. Then throw that one for my max distance roller. I can throw this pretty far for a roller, and I'll use this for like an anhyzer shot also. And then my most overstable discs, my kind of utility discs. First one is an FD3. I really like these. This one's broken in, but it still has good stability. It's a little bit slightly less stable than a Firebird, but it still has good stability. I just like them because some of the Firebirds recently were like just ridiculous, and this can do a little bit more. Like it'll hold straight longer, go farther, and then still hook up at the end. And this is like I do a lot disc, because I throw a lot of overhands too. When the chance comes, I throw thumbers, so I use this for all sorts of trick thumber shots and stuff, and I'll sidearm it too for sometimes even just short like pop in sidearm stuff. This is one of my main utility discs. And then this disc sometimes comes out. This is just insane. It's really flat. This is a Glow Firebird, Glow Champion Firebird. I bought a bunch of these because they're not always in production, and I don't know. I know some people like them, some people hate them. I really like this disc, but it has really specific reasons for being used because it's so overstable. I use it for max distance on overhand thumber shots. It'll go really, really far for me because it's so overstable. It just goes so super slow in the air if you throw it on the right angle, and it carries a lot. Good for skip shots, good for crazy spike hyzers, good for any type of insane wind. Whatever wind, this thing is insane. It's not going to turn over. It's going to last forever. So, I mean, if you can pick one of these up, if you like Firebirds, you might like this. If you don't like stupid overstable discs, don't get one. But if you do, check one of these out. These flat Glow Firebirds, they're crazy. Alright, so that's pretty much my basic setup there. We'll see how things change with the upcoming season next year and Christmas time and everything. Well, thanks for watching. If you want to see any more reviews on the discs or any other discs, let me know. I'll see what I can do. Later.